covered that enough, I will just turn the hats part them off and we'll cope with what we've got. So, shaping them, that is personal preference really. I am starting this cut by standing quite far over here. It's not an ideal cut. If you're left-handed, you can swap hands at this point, but you have no other choice unless you rotate the head so it's further away from you to be in this position, because we've got to make sure that the bevel of the chisel is rubbing, and this is the only way that I can make sure it's rubbing is standing here so that it's in that orientation. That's because I've got short bevels on my chisels. If I was using the spindle gouge in comparison, I could stand roughly about here and cut with it, but I tend to do this with one tool as much as possible, and it's a little bit less bouncy as your ball gouge. So I'm just sort of tapering that top area down. And make it, instead of a straight chamfer, I prefer to have a little bit of a curve on it. I just think it adds that little bit of character, and it also takes the stress off you from trying to make a perfect flat chamfer. I have a little band, or I like to put a little band at the meeting point between the rim of the hat and the body of the hat. So for that, I'm using the spindle gouge so that I can get that nice crisp separation. And it's basically just a little bead, a shallow bead. Now on the little guy that's over on the table, I have actually gilded that. You don't have to go that far. You can paint it, you can mask it off, and you can and not grey fill it so that it's a black band. You could, if you wanted, you could always turn it back to plain wood so that you've got a wooden band around. The options are pretty endless really. That we're shaping the top of the hat. Again, we want to do as much of the work for this on the lathe as possible so that we're not having to hand finish it, or, you know, if we can avoid having to put it in a jam cut, even better. What I tend to do if I'm doing a lot of these is I have a couple of nails in, I have a couple of drawing pins in a lollipop stick that I've masked on, and I use it to just score the underside of the hat so that I have a very good idea as to what the size is for the jam chuck, and then I have a piece of scrap wood like that, bit of sycamore or a bit of lime with the spigot turned on it, and then basically I just keep trying them, and I have it slightly tapered so that if you have a few that are on the smaller side, you can do those first, take them off. If it's too big, you can just turn a sliver off the front of the spigot and just keep moving up as the bottom of the hats get bigger. It works. It's so quick to do them that way around. But I've forgotten to bring blooming stick with me. So just do this. Anytime you are using embellishing paste to open grain, you have to make sure that you sand it very, very well. So I've got my 2 bricks of sanding paper. If ideally you need to be sanding up to 400 grit, same as if you're gilding, treat it the same. The other thing that you need to be very careful of is that you get rid of any tool marks, because they will show, it won't highlight them. You're highlighting negative sort of spaces, so tool marks and sanding marks, you just can't afford to have them. So even though it might be a quick thing to turn, get as good a finish as you can off the tool, and then do give it some time when you are sanding these up. It's not worth it to try and rush. So I'm sanding to 240 grit basically just to save time, because nobody likes standing watching somebody sand. But I want you to get a rough idea of the effect. And then once you've got the sanding done, you need some sort of wire brush. You're best off with a brass bristle brush. And you must give it a really good scrub. I do it once on the lathe, and then when it comes to actually, just before I start ebonising it, I give it another brush. And all you're doing is making sure that you're getting all the dust that you've just pushed into the grain from sanding, you're getting it all out. Now it won't scratch the wood, won't these brushes, so even if you sand it to 600 grit, it won't spoil your finish. It sort of burnishes it a little bit instead. So that's once.
So would wire wool do the same thing?
No, it won't. You wire wool, because it breaks down when you use it, will fill the grain, and and it's so dirty that if you've got any little bits of residue in it and you apply when you spray the lacquer on the top of it, it will hold it in, but then when you rub your cream on it, it will just make it really dirty. So you do need a brush to do it with, to really scrub it out. You can get like suede brushes. They're brass bristles, so something like that would be okay. Get that parted off. So because of the, if I'm going to pop that little bit out with the carving chisel, normally I wouldn't bother because I'd be putting it onto the jam chuck. So I do a load of these in one go. And then just, as I say, I have a chamfered jam chuck and I work through them if I've slightly undersized the hole, when I finish putting those on, I just cut off the spigot and just keep moving back and back to do those. So that's one done. I'll quickly do the second one because I want you to see the two different types of embellishing paste so that you can see them working together. Keep putting that too low. So I'm just going to put it slightly 5 inches up. This is where I would use the 2 pins to score on the other side of there so that I can go straight in on that score mark. And it should be about the correct size from a jam shop. Shape it. These are really good practice of these to pass. For doing the awkward cut on those baubles, the back of the discs, because you're not turning something to a fine edge. So if you get it a little bit wrong, you've got more to go at. So they are really, really good practice. Roll the little bead, only shallow, still making sure that that tool's got good tool movement though, because we don't want it to dig in. So we're starting at the high point in the middle of the bead, rolling the flute in the direction of cut, right over, 90 degrees. You've got to roll the chisel. And then I like to just flatten off the high point slightly so that it looks a little bit more like a band. Meet those 2 cuts, and then we can start to shape the top of the hat again. Quicksand. That is really horrible ash. Nasty stuff. It's been laid down as it's been seasoning, and it's allowed spores to start to form in it. Really, if you're sanding this stuff, you should be having a mask on, but I have got one in the net. It's like sycamore, if you ever get sycamore and it's yellow, it's been seasoned lying down, and it just allows the sap to settle and makes it go yellow. Same thing with holly. If you want to keep it white, sycamore, if you buy a board a bit wet, stand it up. So you'll notice that I haven't used any cut and polish on these, which is very important. If you use cut and polish, you're going to push it into the grain, and you're then not going to be able to open it up. So you have to leave this bare. If you want, and if you've made something, because obviously we're not always just making little hats. If you made something a bit more complicated, so like I did pumpkin box and used some glow-in-the-dark embellishing wax on him. Anybody that follows me on Facebook will have seen the picture. I'll put it up on the screen here. So this little guy is a pumpkin box.
Oh,
sorry.
I'll get the other one.
Under pressure now. It's all
I
going
am,
on.
yeah. Right, talk amongst yourselves.
But if basically, if you end up that you've got fingerprints on or it's dirty, or if the grain's not quite lifted very well, even after you've brushed it, you can put some white spirit on there to just lift it and let it evaporate. So that's my little pumpkin guy with glow-in-the-dark embellishing wax, pushed in the grain, and that's ash. It looks quite hideous actually on that picture, but we've got a better one. Oh, that's better. You can see his face. It looks less ghastly. So there's all sorts you can do with stuff like this. But yeah, you can put some white spirit on there, so that'll clean off any marks. And when I was doing the pumpkins, because I was carving and resting my hands on him, they were filthy, so they needed cleaning first. And of course you don't want to be sanding it once you want it to open the grain. So that's why we can use the white spirit on there. That's that. All the little hats, we've got 2 hats that we can put the embellishing wax into. So it's a similar method that we used previously with the ebonizing lacquer. I'll get rid of that, don't need it. Should have used a black towel for this solution. That would have been sensible. But no. Black ones have finished demoing with it. Give it one last once over. I'm not going to worry about underneath the hat today. I'm just going to get the idea across. So very, very light sprays so that we're not blocking up all those, all that grain. Wait a couple of seconds for that to dry. Just sand that one while he's drying and I can pick him up. It's very glossy at the moment, so we've just got to wait for that to just use a different bit of wood. That would be sensible. That went on, didn't it? Okay, so we'll just let those dry for a moment. Now, I'm quite glad that this has happened actually. So, you know I told you when when we did this box, when I put the size on, put it on thick, I will pass it around because the glue's dried now. And what has happened is, because I put the size on thick, your gold leaf has no flexibility whatsoever. So that's gone on top of size that's not quite dry. It's then absorbed it into the wood and dried out more, and it's stretched slightly, and it's crazed and cracked. It's actually pulled the leaf apart. And that's because it was on way too thick, because I hadn't sealed it and I was trying to cheat. Don't cheat. Looks quite cool actually, I quite like that effect. I would be tempted to get some watercolours with that, or possibly gouache, very, very, very watered down, and put a wash over the top of it, and it'll make it look quite old and crazy, but you can't have it on glued onto your wood. But that's amazing. I think it's ripped it apart in such a way. You wouldn't expect that it would be able to do that, but that just shows how little flexibility that the gold leaf, the maple leaf has. Gold leaf the same. Okay. So I'm just going to give my little guy's head a quick sand and get rid of those tool marks. Do you have another break in the afternoon or not? Am I alright to carry on? Or what, how do you normally go about a Saturday? I'm willing to work with you guys. I can still show you, if anybody's interested in the cupcake boxes, you've seen me make a box today, a jam chuck box, so I can show you the carving side of things if you want to do that. Yeah? Because that's easy enough to set up. So we can do that towards the end, and I'll show you both of the types of tops then, but yeah, you don't need to see me turn another box.
Or should we have a tea break when she's done this? Or go straight through?
What do you want to do? Because I've got to turn his little nails.
Democracy takes time. You don't do decisions.
I'm alright, I'm fine. I can go a bit longer if you want. But if I'm for doing the carving, I'll just need to find some kind of board to... Right, I can do it, but I'll have to do it all on the chuck. Normally I bring a vice with me, and I've just realised I put it. But it's not a problem, I can still show you. So I'll just have to do a bit of shuffling about after I finish the snowman, so if you're alright to...
We've got workmate there, that...
Oh yeah, that'll be alright. So we'll finish this little guy and then we'll go through the carving. If we're happy with that. Our little hats to dry, we can carry on with this now. So I'm going to do one hat with Hampshire sheen and one with the gilt cream. Start with Hampshire sheen. I'll just get my hands quick for instance I've been sanded, so we don't want to put dust into it. You can apply this stuff, you can apply it with a cloth, or you can sort of apply it with a paintbrush. This is a bit tougher to do. I just tend to use fingers. It's the easiest way of doing it. So, I'm getting a good coverage on the finger and I'm just splodging it all over there, and I'm really trying to push as much as I can into the grain, and you'll see it starting to fill the grain up as you do it.
That's too hard. She's actually only small.
I've got a box to stand on.
There is. Can't get stuff there, can you?
Could you make a bit more noise?
You realise why it's the chair, don't you? It's not. Well, it's adjustable. Go. We'll do a click. That's a click.
So that's our Hampshire sheen. So put your embellishing paste on. It's we've changed it to it. There we go. On the sanded one, where's that? So we've put plenty on. Leave it for a little while now. It's not on neat. You don't want it on neat. You want it in the grain. The rest of it doesn't matter. That's going to come off. So the important thing is that we filled the grain. So that is Hampshire sheen. And then I'll do the other with the gold gilt cream. You'll be able to see from there what this stuff going on. There's a lot.
How long will you leave that on before you take it off?
You should leave really the gilt cream. You're supposed to leave 24 hours. But we don't need to. I'm just going to, because it's quite warm in here as well, I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes and then we'll take it off. The longer that you leave it, the more chance you've got of it taking hold in the grain. So when you go over it with wax, which is how then you remove the excess, it's not going to take as much off. Whereas in this state, and just putting it on and leaving it a few minutes, anything that's adhered around it is going to potentially stick to what is in the grain and pull it out with it, if you follow what I mean. Oops.
So for both those different waxes, you should leave it 24 hours, shouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, for filling grain, I don't think that either of them need leaving that long. I don't know what it actually states for the Hampshire sheen one. Let's have a quick read of the box. This one, it does say dries in 24 hours and can be buffed or overcoated with wax. That's for the gilt cream. But you see, the thing with the gilt cream is you can use it to cover a surface as well. So if you're having loads of problems trying to put metal leaf on, this stuff does the same job. In that instance, it must be left 24 hours because you'll just wipe it off the surface. And that's a little bit dry. That would need reactivating because it's not really got enough to form